As an American, I eat apple pie, play baseball under its blue skies. As an American, I travel this land and follow her roads wherever I can. From sea to shining sea, I've seen a lot, and none of it will be forgot. And when my country called, I gave my all as an American. I was born into freedom in a wonderful land of mountains and plains, rivers and lakes. Forever American is what I am. A past as rich as any can be. My father's worked hard to give this to me. I love this place I come from. To live another way I cannot foresee. As an American, I eat apple pie, play baseball under its blue skies. As an American, I travel this land and follow her roads wherever I can. From sea to shining sea, I've seen a lot, and none of it will be forgot. And when my country called, I gave my all as an American. As an American, I've been to the peaks of majestic mountains where the air is sweet. I've watched the eagle as it soars in beautiful skies that just can't be ignored. And by this country I'll always stand, for freedom and liberty for every man. When times are hard and things get rough, America always stands ready and rough. As an American, I eat apple pie, play baseball under its blue skies. As an American, I travel this land and follow her roads wherever I can. From sea to shining sea, I've seen a lot, and none of it will be forgot. And when my country called, I gave my all as an American. And when my country called, I gave my all as an American. Forever American is what I am.
Well, hello. How you guys all doing tonight? Hi, Alex. Hi, Nana. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Rodney. Hi, Richard. Hi, Matt. Hi, Keith. Hi, Pam. Hi, Susan. Hi, other Rodney. How you guys all doing tonight? Hopefully you guys are having a great night. Sound should be working great. I seen that somebody said no sound. Definitely. Full mobilization, yes. The scary things happening. As Russia has ordered a full mobilization after the, of course, huge inferno that rages at Russia's oil refinery after being hit by 20 Ukrainian kamikaze drone strikes. Yes, 20 Ukrainian kamikaze drone strikes. These are U.S. drones that we gave Ukraine. They were supposed to be used inside of Ukraine only, not supposed to be used, of course, for offensive attacks inside of Russia. But definitely huge problems. As Ukraine reported, a second oil refinery was attacked by kamikaze drones, but it did not blow up. so no fire resulted in it. Separate strike occurred around the same time Wednesday on the border town of Russia. This is ridiculous. We're looking at provocations that are going to lead to World War III. It's not a question now, as Russia, of course, is calling up and Putin orders a full mobilization of the military. That would be on the scale or beyond the scale of World War II in the coming days. Yes, the oil depot was inside of Russia. We're talking a call up of soldiers beyond the scale of World War II in the coming days. As Vladimir Putin prepares for military offensives, being described as on the scale of World War II, Russia might be increasing the attacks on Ukraine. And it's going to be increasing. I mean, the buildup following months of tension between the two nations, with Ukraine revealing simply days before Moscow had assaulted its capital, responding with explosions on the Kremlin a few weeks ago. Drones that had currently been seen flying towards both capital cities of Kiev and Moscow. Now that, of course, they're ordering a full mobilization, most likely an announcement the announcement that came today, and it was likely to come in the coming days in Russia. Of course, we thought about this, we knew it was coming, but the remarks suggest the scale that might be larger than ever seen before. Soviet Union, of course, managed to muster an army of 34 million to challenge the Nazi Germany. 34 million people is what they got last time. 34 million people stood up and fought for Russia. And we're watching this happen again. We're expecting that number to surpass what was seen in World War II. This is a very pivotal moment. I mean, we've seen a lot of drawback in military from Russia. I think we're going to see what real forces Russia has. We poked the bear too many times. Russia is sick of what's the U.S., of course, donating and selling weapons, giving them to Ukraine, giving even now M1 Abrams tanks going to Ukraine, soon to be planes. I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, for what's going to happen, the possible implications in the coming days, with unknown outcome of the two nations still embroiled in conflict. A complete mobilization is what is understood to be the scale far bigger than anything Russia has ever experienced in the past. Greater than in December, partial mobilization, of course. And expected to be much greater than World War II. Russia had enormous power back then. It is sad to see what's happening. It's sad to see what's happening around the world. Much less with what we have going on in China, with our spy planes being caught by China, and China, of course, responding to U.S. complaints over plane interceptions with demands for end of surveillance flights. China, of course, on Wednesday complained about the United States about its Chinese fighter jet dangerously intercepting a United States Air Force reconnaissance aircraft. Now, supposedly, we claim that the aircraft was in international airspace over the South China Sea. And China has been demanding the end of such flights. But of course, China declares that their territory, so it would be within Chinese airspace. The incident adds to the military, diplomatic, and economic tensions between the countries over the U.S. support for self-governing Taiwan. China refuses to engage a dialogue between the armed forces, and Beijing's flying of a suspect balloon over the U.S. Watching all this, the U.S. should immediately stop these dangerous provocations, because that's what they are. U.S. Indo-Pacific Command called the Chinese plane actions unnecessarily aggressive maneuvers, but the Chinese military has since significantly more aggressive over the past 5 years, intercepting U.S. aircraft and ships in its region, which it should be. We would be doing the same thing. Debt ceiling bill has passed the House. We will get to that in a minute. This is just adding to what's going on. Weapons that the U.S. has sold to Taiwan after completing war game exercises last month. The U.S. House China Committee advanced the number of suggested to Congress. One recommendation is for the U.S. government to establish a weapons stockpile to be given to Taiwan should its neighbors China choose to take the path that Russia did in Ukraine. Earlier this year, President Biden signed a national defense authorization for 2023 financial year, including $858 billion in defense spending and $2 billion in loans to Taiwan, also specifying that the island nation would receive $10 billion over the next 5 years to modernize its armed forces. $2 billion loan is to buy weapons and other military services from the U.S., directly violating what China's China policy has already said. This going forward is a huge problem. U.S. Secretary of State must certify to Congress that Taiwan is increasing its own spending on the country's defense as well, but I don't think that'll be hard. Problem with this is trying to say it's a permanent solution for Taiwan. Taiwan's aircraft are outmatched. Taiwan's forces are outmatched easily by China, allowing Taiwan to purchase an authorized purchase of F-E-5 fighter jets and 500 air-to-ground Maverick missiles and anti-tank systems, Hawk surface-to-air missiles, and self-propelled surface-to-air systems such as Chaparral, which is the drones, kamikaze drones. Total cost of the weapons that were just over $550 billion, and those are going, for sure. Now, not all weapons will be authorized now, but the delivery, in some cases, U.S. stockpiles could not be drawn down. In other words, weapons were no longer being manufactured in others. So we'll see what's happening with that. But look at the 8 major weapon systems that have recently been authorized to sell to provide Taiwan. The list is comprehensive. It does not include activities or items needed to operate and maintain these systems. But MK-48 torpedoes, a self-propelled anti-submarine heavyweight torpedo that the U.S. has authorized to sell to Taiwan. I mean, this is crazy. The latest version includes advanced capabilities and variants. Of course, the M848 may be wired, guided, use active or passive homing. Of course, shipping these Harpoon, and of course the AGM-48 Harpoon standoff land attack missiles. I mean, this is ridiculous. More than 500 of them will be sold to Taiwan. 400 Harpoon missiles and relative equipment is already being sent when it was approved in September. So we're looking at a total value of over $2.3 billion in missiles, just in Harpoon missiles manufactured by Boeing, being sold to Taiwan at an extremely discounted rate. All these weapons, of course, are going along with supposedly costing under $2 billion, but we know the actual cost to us is much greater. Short-range surface-to-air missiles, of course, will be given to Taiwan as well to the tune of $436 million. That's right. So we're already well over the $2 billion supposed budget. I mean, we're also sending the Paladin self-propelled and tracked 55 millimeter howitzer designed for fire armored bridge combat teams. That system, of course, that we've sent so far will be 333 of them will be sent for $750 million. It's ridiculous. When you add up these numbers, they total well over $5 billion, but yet it's only a $2 billion loan. Patriot missile battery costs about $1.1 billion. including 690 million for missiles and 400 million for the rest of the system. Of course, we're sending 5 to 8 launchers, 5 to 8 of these systems to Taiwan. Where's that money going? It's coming out of nowhere. Sidewinder missiles, easily another $400,000. Of course, the air-to-air missiles, the AIM-120 Armorettes, we're expected to send another $2.3 million per missile, 280 of them to Saudi Arabia. Even though Saudi Arabia, we'll get to that in a minute, but that's a huge deal going on there. It is sad. Iran, of course, is preparing for wholesale exports of weapons to its allies, saying that it's no longer fearing the U.S., which is not a question. The Islamic Republic defense and military capable of sharing with friendly countries is expected to expand the country's defensive relations, of course, strengthening ties with its fellow nations. Israel's armed forces are fully prepared to upgrade the level of ties in various fields, including wholesale of exports of defense and military equipment, as well as exercises and practice transfer of experience. I mean, President, of course, Iranian's president is expanding security around its nuclear site. It's just crazy watching what's happening. It is crazy to watch what's happening. Iran's new cruise missile can strike, of course, U.S. ships within 1,000 miles, which we didn't think Iran would have the capability of that for quite some time. But they're definitely stepping up. China rejecting meetings with the U.S. The UAE says it's stopping talks or taking part in U.S.-led Gulf Maritime Coalition. As the UAE, of course, is one of the last major parties in the Middle East besides, of course, Israel. United Arab Emirates, of course, on Wednesday said they are no longer taking part in operations by the U.S.-led task force protecting Gulf shipping, which has been subject to renewed tanker seizures by Iran naval forces in the recent weeks. Of course, we know UAE is going ahead with the joint venture with the Saudi Arabia and Iran. And the frustration by the lack of U.S. response to any early tanker seizures is really what led to this. It's a mischaracterization of what's the conversation between the two countries, because the combined military forces and headquarters of U.S. naval base, and of course, Bahrain 2 months ago, when they did not support the UAE to take back one of their own ships, led to this literally fallout situation. As we're losing allies in the Middle East and allies around the world, problems just propagate. It's just the beginning. Top, of course, AI researchers and CEOs warn against the risk of extinction in a 22-word statement. It's pretty crazy. Mitigating the risk of extinction from AI should be a global priority alongside other socially scaled risks such as pandemics and nuclear war. This coming from CEOs from pretty much every company, including Google, DeepMind, OpenAI, as well as Jeffrey Hilton and Yoshua Bengio, 2 of the 3 AI researchers who won the 2018 Turing Award. Everybody's commenting now, AI is not the way of the future. The debate over safety and conversations, obviously calling for at least a 6-month pause in AI development. and to make a critical oversight for the risk posed by AI, while others agree that the risk, but not the letter's recommendation. So some agree with the risk, not with the recommendation itself. This is a huge problem. Our country has really fallen so far. It is devastating to see. It is devastating to follow what's happening with our world. I mean, luckily there are some things that will try to help the budget or help our country, but another $2 trillion in debt is going to be tacked on soon. And just to mention, that only covers the interest on our debt payments this year. $2 trillion won't go far. A bill to undo Biden's student loan debt forgiveness plan will get a vote in the U.S. Senate. It's already passed the House. So, passed the House along party lines with 2 Democrats voting with GOP lawmakers. And it looks like it probably will pass the Senate as well, Democratic support. Seeing that way, it's not feasible at this rate. Why should U.S. citizens be paying debts for the few that decided to go and take out loans and not pay them back? That's idiocracy. That's a dictatorship or communism at its greatest point. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing our country turn more and more to this narcissistic communism. Watching what's happening, it's crazy. And I don't know if the debt ceiling will be raised in the House or the Senate, let's be honest, because the Senate is really where it has to pass, and it doesn't look like it has a clear passage at this point. Even the House had a lot of concerns when it was moving to vote for this. But watching, I mean, one after another, politicians being called out, politicians being pushed on the floor, shown that they're insider trading, shown that they do anything to negotiate to make money for themselves. As more and more of these issues come forward, it is devastating. It's devastating to the American public. Oh, there's over 48 countries joining BRICS. 48. Yeah, imported goods are going to cost a lot more. So it is truly devastating. It is truly devastating to see what's happening and where we're headed. As Russia calls for a full-scale mobilization, I have a feeling we'll be drawn into this war within the next few weeks, to be honest. And I think China will take advantage of that at the same time, once we're drawn into Russia, to take Taiwan, leading to major devastation. The U.S., of course, runs on technology. That's what we rely on day by day. No matter what we want to say or what we want to do, we do not produce our own technology. We do not produce anything we actually use at this point. Instead of America being a great industrial nation, which we once were, we are now a nation that relies on others to produce our products for us. And that's what's going to hurt us in the long run with this. As sad as it is to say, we will see, of course, if the bill passes. I guess it did not pass the House yet tonight. It's going to be, it's tabled for the morning, so. Absolutely devastating. Looking around, looking at what's happening to our country, not just our country, but countries abroad because of us. Devastation only growing. It says it's tabled. If you look at the House right now, it says motion to reconsider laid on the table, agreed without objection. The House received communications from the Representatives Clinton's where he resigned as a member of House, effective at the close of business today. Motion on suspending rules and pass the bill. The amendment agreed to by yeas and nays, and they did a roll call. So. Oh, it is passed as an amendment. So I'm mistaken. I was saying that they closed council before the vote was over, but I guess they had 2/3 of the vote already in. So we have to wait and see what's happening next because Russia does not look like it's going to head anywhere pleasant. Of course, long-standing fear of what's going to happen next. Of course, you guys can afford to donate, please do. If you can't afford, we obviously understand that. The channel, we're trying to grow and make ourselves greater. So please make sure you're following, and if you're not getting notifications, if you message my page directly, I will send out notifications to you. I try to get them out to everyone. But God bless you guys. Stay safe. Stay prepared. This is not going to look good over the next couple of days as we prepare to see what's going to happen next. But till then, we will see you guys Friday night. Stay tuned. God bless.